everyone. Right now we're going to take a look at what interior elevations look like and go ahead and do a demo on that. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, as you can see, the first thing that I want to do with my interior elevations is I want to go ahead and outline them. So we are going to create, there are two ways to make interior elevations. You can, first of all, we're looking at our reference drawing here. You could do two things. You can scale them up or scale them right off your floor plan. Now we know what they look like. The first thing that we want to do is we want to take a look at what are we actually going to elevate. So here are kitchen elevations and here is the restroom elevations. The first thing we want to do is we can use two methods. We could just scale using our scale, and we can use orthographic projection to create these. But the very first thing we want to do is we want to block out our elevations. So how do we do that? Well, we need to know what views that we are actually elevating. So the first thing we want to do is on our floor plan, we want to put our what's called a elevation mark. And the elevation mark will dictate exactly what viewpoint we are looking at. So as we get started, let's find our little circle and with our elevation template, and we'll get going from there. There we go, a little circle here. So this is my rough outline that I did that block out drawing of the floor plan earlier before. Remember, you always want to block out your plans. So we blocked out the floor plan. We'll use this block out plan and we will block out our elevations. But the first thing we want to do is decide what views we're elevating. So you will take a little circle here. It's about, I don't know, the 18-inch circle or this 12-inch circle here. We'll put, why don't we put that little 12-inch circle right here. We're going to do a circle, and we're going to take one of these squares, and we're going to, they create like little arrows looking each way, like that. Okay, that becomes one of our elevation marks, and each point it points to represents the view you are going to elevate. So the first view we want to elevate will be down here, number A. So we'll put A down here, A. Then we're going to come around counterclockwise, and we're going to go B and C. This is our elevation mark. In the middle is what we normally put the page number. You can find these. So we are going to elevate this wall, and this wall. A, B, C, and we do them in order. Next, we're going to put our elevation mark in our bathroom. So once again, we put our 12-inch circle and our little square that will create 4 little points. And we want to make sure that we put the right, there you go. So now we're going to elevate various different viewpoints of this. So we just ended it on C. So now we want elevation D, and then we have elevation E. So we're going to go elevation E and elevation E, and then elevation F. So you just went A, B, C, and then D, E, F. We left this blank because we're not elevating this wall, and we left this blank because we're not elevating this wall. They're kind of all in an order. We will draft this A, B, C, D, E, F. So we're just kind of going clockwise. So you'll also draft this wall from here to here, this wall, and this wall. So let's get started. First thing we need to know is our ceiling heights. Well, I can tell you right now that the ceiling heights for these elevations are 8 feet, 0 inches. So You could also tell that by putting your 1/8 inch scale on here, and you will see that when you do that, it should be 8 feet. There it is, 8 feet exactly, right here, 1 to 8 feet. So the first thing you want to do is we have our elevation marks. We want to create an 8-foot set of lines straight across that represent 8 feet. Let me get this away. So we want to get rid of, sorry about that, we want to create, oh, here's all my drawings, 2 rows of 8 feet, and this is at 1/4 inch. Okay, so we have our 2 rows of 8 feet at 1/4 inch. We use our bar to slide up and down and create 2 rows. The top row will be the kitchen, the bottom row will be the bathroom. Get these back on here. Then next, we will want to segregate the walls. So how do you do that? You have 2 options. You can find out, well, how long is that 1/8 inch scale and measure, like we have done in the past. So we could say, okay, so that wall is exactly 11 feet. Or we could just use our handy dandy floor plan. And so when we use our floor plan, we can see what wall that is. So this floor plan shows right here, from here to here. So we could place this floor plan perfectly underneath our little section. And this is when we can do orthographic projection if we'd like. And that's when you actually elevate each wall as it comes up. So you'll see that I could draw a line here. Let me make this straight, sorry. It's kind of getting a little wobbly, here we go. I line this up, this floor plan, and I line it up, and I can orthographically look at that, figure out how wide my walls are, and they line up. So I can also just scale this, which might even be faster. So I go, okay, there it is, 11 feet, boom, 11 feet. So I create that wall. Now what's the next elevation we're doing? A, B, C. So B, we're going to go on this wall. So we turn that over, and that wall is 7 feet. So I go over here, boom, little mark, and create, boom, boom, and that's elevation B. This is going to be A, B, and C. This will be D, E, and F. I put a little space in between. So I'm creating just the elevation, I'm blocking out the drawing. And then once again, number C, we know, well, these are the same. These are going to be the same, okay? So that is 11 feet. There it is, exactly 11 feet. And so that gave me my first 3 elevations, and then I'll just do the exact same thing with the kitchen. I decide what is the elevation for D, and there it is. That is exactly 7 feet. So I come over here, boom, 7 feet, and I mark that off. Then I look at the other elevation, E, and we just go, boom, and create 3 separate elevations. Now sometimes you want to, avoid confusion, so you might want to get rid of some of the lines in between, just so you know where your picture planes are and where your little elevation walls. So this gives me 3 distinct elevations, okay? So once we block out these interior elevations, the walls themselves, now we have 3 different views. This was a little off here. And we're just kind of going to now go over our reference drawing. Now, they're kind of upside down, so please ignore that. And we now want to take our visual cue from these small scale drawings. So this is where we can use orthographic projection, which is awesome, right? We can scale right off of this drawing and say, okay, how long is the refrigerator? 2.5 feet. So we go 2.5 feet, we tick that off. How big is this little cabinet? Well, that cabinet is 1 foot and 3 inches. So we would tack that off, 1 foot, 3 inches, and so forth. We would go and see how large our stove is, 2.5 feet. And then what is this? This is an opening with a dotted line. There is an opening in and out of this kitchen this way. There's a refrigerator, a little cabinet, and a stove. Here is the cabinetry. So you will continue to mark that off as you measure that, and that is 24 inches. So once you get all your little measurements, then you create your little vertical lines. You'll have a refrigerator, you have a little cabinet, you know the stove is going to go here, and so forth, and then the cabinetry. And basically, you will now start to carve out this elevation based on your reference drawing. Now, each cabinet is always 36 inches above the floor. That is standard. Remember, these are an 1/8 inch. There it is, 3 feet. So once you know that, you can go up 3 feet and use your parallel bar and run that line vertically across. I'll just use this so that you can see better. And we'll know that the 3 feet will go right like that, across there. So this is how you carve out, just like anything, elevations. And then as you take your visual cue here, you will go ahead and create these details. Go ahead and scale your refrigerator. Above it is little cabinets. Right there is an upper cabinet. There is a hood, a stove, and little drawers. Do your best. Now let me tell you what this represents. The dotted line, this dashed line in a triangle on a square, there's a handle. That shows that the door swings open that way. You have door swings. So here's where the hinge is. Wherever the small point is where the hinge is. Okay? So the door will open that way. So here it shows the hinge here. You'll open the door that way. Here they open each way. When you have an X through something, that represents you've cut through that item. So when we take a look at this elevation, we are cutting through this. And that's why you see an X here, because it's like cutting through the lower cabinet and the upper cabinet. That gives you an idea that those cabinets are coming towards you. Anything with an X has been sliced and is coming towards you. So as you can see when we look at our reference elevations, that this refrigerator, and I'll show you the large one so that what our final drawing looks like. So as you can see, the refrigerator, the little cabinets, upper cabs, these little drawers, an oven, an opening, and this lower cabinet and this upper cabinet is coming towards us, and that references this being sliced. Now I want to make a note when you flip this over that this is a bank of upper cabinets. There's a mistake on your reference elevation that I want you to be aware of. This is incorrect. There should be no X. That X would represent cabinets coming towards me. So right here, what is correct, and I'm glad that we're doing this, what is correct is that this cabinet really should open so that we can get it. This does not have an X. It really should have a dot, 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 dot. So actually that upper cabinet really is a series of dots, just like that. There's just one row of cabinetry. So as you see, this is a little bit different. I had to make a modification, and just go ahead and put a half triangle right there, or a half diamond right there instead of an X. Okay, that makes this correct. There is no cabinets coming towards the sink. It's just one whole row of cabinets. That's what that shows, a row of cabinets. So, how you do your elevations? You can do them a number of ways. You can use orthographic projection by projecting up all the different elements. You can scale the drawing by placing your scale onto it. And then scale the details as you see them and blow them up. Once you're doing this, you go back and you carve out the details. And we want to make sure that they all represent these references. I know these are very small, but we have a nice little tile pattern. I'm going to give you some freedom there. If you would like to do a subway, you can. Here is a beautiful herringbone tile. And I think that that will add interest. So if you want to design the kitchen a bit, go ahead and add tile here. Now, another thing missing on these reference elevations are tile here. So technically, let's get to the bigger one. There should be tile here as well. So that herringbone pattern that you see should also repeat itself here. So make sure you put tile here as well. Okay, tile here and just dot this corner area. Sorry for the misprint on the reference drawings, but I want you to make those corrections. So tile, tile, and tile, and then just a little triangle. And as you are doing these elevations, remember that the line weights are smaller and thinner on your tile. So make them nice and thin. Here they look dark but thin. And then the larger, thicker lines are always outline things that are cut, this cabinet, and the outside. Now, one other thing to note. There is a 12-inch, 1 foot soffit. That is when the ceiling drops. So you're going to create your 8-foot boxes, then drop 1 foot and put a line there. The cabinetry actually connects to that soffit, and often we run plumbing and electrical through those soffits. And as we saw in the reflective ceiling plan, we showed the soffits on that reflective ceiling plan, which is right here. This element is a drop soffit of 12 inches, as we discussed in our demo. That 12-inch dropped soffit, which represents 7 feet right there, is represented right here in this drawing, showing that dropped soffit. So you see how there's communication on both levels. So once you have done your blockouts of your elevations, you will then take your title block, copy them, and create a beautiful set of final elevations. Now remember, all your elevations need to be in order based on the floor plan that we marked up. So elevation A will say kitchen elevation, B, C, D, E, and F. Try to use all templates. Don't use any freehand. If you could avoid it, don't use, just try to use and manipulate some of your templates to create all these shapes. And they have a nice subway tile here. Once again, you've got your door swing hinges. Those nice diagonal lines represent glass. So we want to make sure that we are representing the materials. And once again, tile throughout the whole space. And use the word open here. It represents that's an opening. Above here, small cabinets or small cabinets above the refrigerator. Add all the details, the sink and that sort of thing. This little dotted line under the sink is also showing that there's a sink under there. And make sure you put your little handles or your poles. Now here is a dishwasher. That's why it's V'd this way. It opens and flips down. Here's a pantry, upper cabinets, and a window. More diagonal lines. And once again, that soffit goes all the way around the kitchen, just like it showed in the reflective ceiling plan. One other thing to note that is very important. Every single kitchen has a 4 4 inches of what we call a toe kick. And that is everywhere throughout all the cabinets. You will put a line of 4 inches. So a line of 12 inches on the top for our soffit and 4 inches on the bottom for your little toe kick. That's so you don't stub your toe. You'll notice in your own cabinetry that there is a little, from the side, you'll see that the cabinet actually goes in. Here's the floor. The cabinet actually goes in, so a person's foot can actually not get a stub toe. So it actually is called a toe kick. So that, or baseboards, we also put on our walls. Same concept, but 4-inch toe kick. Put your hinges, tile, your soffits, and all your details, the shower head, mirrors, and so forth. So once you get done blocking your drawing, utilizing your floor plan for measurements or orthographic projection, whatever you like. You can use your scale or orthographic projection. You just flip the plan according to what you need. Block out your elevations, and then take your beautiful handy dandy title block that's empty, set it on top, and create a lovely set of interior elevations. Now don't forget the scale is 1 foot equals a 1/4 inch, or a 1/4 inch equals 1 foot 0 inches, just like it says here. Now you really don't need to put that under all of these. It's really not necessary for elevations. So I would not put the scale here. Just put the scale. 1/4 inch equals 1 foot 0 inches. Just put it once here. Okay? So make sure they're in order. Make sure that you put the elevation marks on your drawings, the little triangles that we have here. It's on the reference drawing. And make sure that you use orthographic projection, your scale, and your floor plan to block out your drawings and then transfer them on a beautiful title block with all the great line weights. This extra line is showing the thickness of the wall. That really isn't that necessary. If you'd like to put it there because it's there, you can. But sometimes we don't need that because we're just going from the inside of the wall to the inside. But I know that you'll do fantastic. And if you have any questions, we'll address those in class.